Hello and welcome to the Costume Quest Any% with Skips tutorial, otherwise known as the Any% glitched route. My name is Harsh, and I will be your guide to the wonderful realm of speedrunning. So, I guess first off, I should mention we have practice saves at each section of the game. I will provide a link to that in the movie description, as well as how to set them up in a video I'll provide. And yeah, I recommend using the practice saves just so you get practice in Maul and the end game a lot. Because if you're just doing like no reset runs all the time, you're gonna get good at the beginning, but you're gonna want to practice like each section of the game pretty thoroughly. Because surprisingly, there's a lot of depth to this speed run, and some of the tricks can be a little bit tricky at first. But personally, I think none of the skips should be too difficult, and with just a little bit of practice, you can definitely do them. A lot of them are quite similar. If you prefer an easier route, because I'll be honest, this route is very difficult. It's very difficult to finish runs in, mostly because the final boss is very, very hard, and there's a lot of luck element to it, to say the least, but I'll get to that when we get to that point. I'll be covering the entire game from beginning to the end of Big Bones. Uh, and yeah, I will probably have more detailed versions of some of the boss fights later on. But yeah, anyway, let's get started. So start your new game. So we have a bit of a interesting start to the timing. So start your game anywhere you want. I should also mention, if you're going to speedrun this game, speedrun the PC version. It's always on sale on Steam, and it's pretty much the fastest version because you can skip the opening cutscenes. On the console versions, you can't skip these opening cutscenes. So you can pick either Ren or Reynold, doesn't matter. Fun fact, if you just like spin the controller back and forth, your hand glitches. Woo! Okay, so pick either Ren or Reynold, it doesn't matter. Whichever one you pick, you're going to skip the next cutscene. I'm not going to explain to skip cutscenes every single time because I think that should be pretty straightforward, but if you're playing on Xbox controller, it's the B button to skip controller, and whatever the equivalent is on PlayStation. So, pick Ren or Reynold, and then your timer starts basically as soon as the mom cutscene starts. Like, it's the fade after the mom cutscene, like the black screen. So, right here. So skip that cutscene. It can be a little bit awkward to get used to, but you'll get used to it once you do runs. So let's just go straight through the tutorial. Mash through the text, of course, and then just go to the second house, and then go to this side to trigger the first tutorial fight. Basically, I mash X as soon as possible, and then mash the button that appears on screen. Personally, I like to mash all 4 buttons when I'm doing this, and during those little sections of the enemy attacks. So basically, it can be one of 4 buttons. It can be A, X, Y, or B, and whatever the PlayStation equivalents are. What I like to do is I like to mash X and B, like the left and right buttons at the same time, to basically just kind of give me like a 50-50 shot at getting the quick button succession. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you don't. It doesn't matter, and if you fail it, it's not a big deal. You're only losing like a couple frames. So, yeah. Mash again, press the button to stop the animation cancel, and then X and B once again. So I didn't get it that time. And then mash B during this little scene here, so that you can use the special right away. So there's going to be a lot of mashing going on. You got to get used to, like, skipping cutscenes really fast, and eventually you get used to it. So this part, you don't have to make a cycle or anything. You just have to walk straight, and you can just walk on top of, like, these pumpkins right here. I don't know why, but it's, like, the one part of the game you can, like, walk objects on. And once you're kind of up here, you just you just mash X really fast to hit those things. And then exit from the top part of, like, the pumpkin. So sometimes there's, like, an invisible wall here that you can get stuck on, and it can be, like, kind of annoying. Like, I think it's, like, right there or something, but, yeah, so the thing you can walk on is, like, right here, like, on the left side. It's not too bad. So if you go too far right, you can get trapped by an invisible wall, but basically I just go here, smack, 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 and then just, you know, go down, as you saw. And then just go straight to the pumpkin. Go on the left side of the chest so that you can trigger it. It's about right here. Sometimes, like, the button prompt doesn't show up and it's kind of annoying, but just go to the left chest and open it up from the left side. This is to get the robot costume piece. Grab this piece, just kind of follow the lines as I'm going through them. And walk around, smack, smack, smack. Smack, smack, smack. And then grab this, the final robot piece. So while this is going on, walk, and then your split will be as soon as, like, you see the robot costume appear, basically. So, the reason that split is called Robot Percent is, well, there is kind of like a meme category called, like a miscellaneous category called Robot Percent, where literally the run just ends after you collect the robot costume. You can run it if you want. It's like a 1 minute category. Like, world record is by yours truly, 1:18. I guess if you want to just do that, you can, but I like playing the full game, so once you get robot, you can press the B button to, like, skateboard. If you're used to Costume Quest 2, it's L in that game. It's left and right triggers in that game, but in this one it's B, so if you're going back between both games, it can be a little bit awkward to adjust, but for this game, it's just B. Skate down here, skip that cutscene, go off the ramp, and now we're going to go through the Travis tutorial, the bullying tutorial. That's just teaching you how to skate. Basically, just follow, like, the lines on the left. You can take a little curve over there to save, like, a little bit of movement. Go past the cars, and then go on this corner right here. Straightforward. And then get used to mashing A over here, and then swap, and then as soon as, like, you know, you see Everett walking, just swap to the knight right away. Like, I didn't do it very fast there, but, and then mash through the text. And now we can actually begin the route. So swap back to robot, and this is where, like, the run really begins. Go up here, go to this house. So we're going to be collecting candy from 4 trick-or-treat houses. That gives you about 50. Go to that one, trick-or-treat there. Go to the one right across the street, like, that's diagonal to it. And you can press B to skip the cutscenes once again. Go over here, by the car, and this is just a straight path up to this house. We got another trick-or-treat house. And finally, let's exit. It can be a little awkward moving through the things. Go to this house over here on the bottom left. And you should have 343. We only need 325 candy to get the required amount for the stamps that we need. So after that, exit and just go straight line over here. Talk to Sadie, mash, and just buy everything in the shop right there. As soon as you exit, press B, and then it'll take you automatically to the stamp menu. So this is just kind of getting used to menuing, basically. Stamps, you know, you're going to be, like, constantly attaching and reattaching different things, like, throughout the game. It's only a couple times where you really switch stamps. So learning, like, the movement for them is really nice. You can just use, like, D-pad to move back and forth. I think D-pad is, like, the fastest. If you want, you can do D-pad and stick, and you can get, like, 2 spaces instead of 1, but it's kind of hard to control. So I'd say just do D-pad, and then just go, so, like, D-pad twice here, and then go all the way down to cat. Press X on cat, press A on cat. So you're giving cat to your first slot, which is Ren or Reynolds, and then you're giving Everett the claw. This is to prepare for the first boss fight, who can be, he's not as bad as he used to be, but he can still give you a little bit of trouble if you're unlucky. So after that, just press B to cancel the dialogue from there. Exit from the right side, and head over to the Liberty Quest. We're going to start the Liberty Quest right now. I've talked to him twice, but I think it's 5 A presses you just have to do for him, and then you can just get through it. talk to this Abraham Lincoln guy for the first piece. You don't have to talk to him again. Skate across here. Talk to this guy. Then swap to Knight to get past the waterfall. And then swap to Robot immediately to get your Robot moving back. Basically, the movement in this is use Robot as much as possible. He is very helpful. Go over here. Talk to this Abraham. Get this chest. And talk to this one to get the final Liberty. So this is where we're going to split. As soon as I get the Liberty costume. Nice. So now we're going to move on to the Bojonn section. So the first thing we're going to do is World 1 skip. Basically, we're going to be skipping all the trick-or-treating that happens you'd have to go through casually in this route, in this game, normally. And just skip straight to the final boss, skip straight to the first boss. So go to this tree over here. So from basically where we got the Liberty costume from this guy, go over here, go all the way to this tree. This trick only works with this tree. So there's two ways you can kind of do this. You can clip into this tree. The idea is we're going to clip behind that fence, walk through the fence, and then when we get to that tree, we'll just drop down to like the graveyard area. So what I like to do is just kind of hide yourself in the tree as much as possible. Swap to Knight, first off, and you're going to use the shield attack. And, here, let me actually kind of color code this a little bit to help out. Sorry, there's like a line in the line over there. So what you want to pay attention to is Robot's model over here. Robot will be clipping through as we keep going. So if I do this shield, what you can do is there's two things you can do. So the easier strat is just wiggling. You can put your control stick at roughly the up left position, and then what you want to do is go from like the up left position to more up left essentially, and you just want to clip through. So you'll see here, you notice Robot is kind of clipping through as I'm going through. And it happens pretty fast. So if you get used to just kind of this slow clipping, that's going to basically be the idea for most of the skips in the game. Eventually you'll notice he's kind of clipping through fast, and then once you get outside the tree, like once you start seeing like Knight, like right about I'm terrible at drawing, I'm sorry. Knight right about there, then you made it through. You can alternatively tap spam to get through it. If you want to tap left a bunch, you can do that as well. I can show that off really quickly, I guess. Okay, we're back. So the other method you can do is simply just tap spam. So again, use the Knight shield, and what you can do is you can just flick up left a bunch, and you'll notice Robot is just slowly clipping through. This is a pretty consistent method, and it is a little bit slower than just like wiggling. Also hurts my hands, I've noticed a little bit. But you'll see kind of Robot is just kind of slowly clipping through as you're doing it. If you want like a pretty consistent method, this is the way I do it. I used to do it, but wiggling isn't too bad either if you're having trouble with it. Either way, once you get behind the fence, swap from Knight to Robot, and then just kind of, hold down. I would take it slowly if it's your first time doing it, but basically you just walk downward. Kind of like down left, I guess. And you can use the Robot skates to, of course, do it too. When you get to this tree, make a up left turn, like a up left turn. And you'll probably end up like, around here. Sometimes you'll like drop here, but basically I just hold like pretty much up left the whole way, and you'll wind up around here. You can, if you want to, you can like clip through some of the geometry in this, because you're not supposed to be able to access this stuff. It's kind of funny, but anyway, you end up here. We go to this rock. keep a robot going. So what you want to do here is clip through this gate by holding down left, like literally just down left. And you notice robot is just kind of clipping through the gate once again. So if you're having trouble like determining the angle, just kind of watch the controller cam in the video. I think it helps. But yeah, you could just do down left, and then once you kind of get stuck here, go a little more down, down left. Like wiggle the stick like kind of more down, and you can get through pretty much every time. Go here, skip this grubbin by hugging the right side, mash through the pumpkin text. And then from here, just skate. Alright, so this is our first boss, Bojonn. So this is the reason we attached the stamps like earlier. Skip the cutscene once again. One thing I would say is, if you want like any kind of fast cutscene, always like mash A and B at the same time. Sometimes you get like an instant cutscene skip, which saves a couple frames. So Bojonn, basic idea here. We are going to kind of manipulate his health as well as the megaphone's health, so that when he summons the shaman enemy on the next turn, the shaman enemy will just continually be in a healing loop with megaphone. When the healing happens, the shaman generally prioritizes megaphone healing if it's below 100 HP. 100 or less, so it could be exactly 100 and he'll still heal, but if it's above 100, then he might heal Bojonn instead. Basically, whoever's lower HP he'll heal, but if both Bojonn and Megaphone are under 100 HP, it'll always go for Megaphone. Now that all that information's out of the way, let's just attack Bojonn turn 1. You can attack Megaphone turn 1 if you want to, but I like to attack Bojonn turn 1 just to get the damage in. And of course, the buttons are random. I like to mash X during these beats, and press B to skip these cutscenes, and then Shaman can do one of three things. He can defend himself, which is the best possible scenario. He can attack Robot, or he can attack, or he can defend Bojonn. If he does the shield on Bojonn, that is the worst possible scenario, but it's not too bad. If he defends Bojonn, then all that means is you're just gonna have a slower fight. You can still win. So this fight, there is a little bit of RNG to it. The cat stamp, I didn't mention this, but it boosts your evasion or dodging chances by 50%. So basically, every time Bojonn or the enemy attacks you, it's a 50-50 chance of dodging. And you'll learn that 50-50 is very, very low later on. So this is turn 2 now, so we're going to attack Megaphone. Get Megaphone down to 140-ish HP range. There is battle range in this game, so like your damage is ranged in this. Okay, so after that turn, Missile Barrage Bojonn to do more damage to him. Okay, and then on Knight's turn, attack Megaphone. So that Megaphone's below 100 HP. So now that Megaphone's below 100 HP, Shaman will do nothing next turn. With Bojonn, you kind of have to bank on him. If he attacks Robot, you have to kind of bank on him dodging, because if he gets all the attacks in and you never get a dodge, once, then you can lose. Okay, so now that Shaman healed Megaphone, we're going to attack Bojonn once more with Robot. So Robot will do more damage than Knight in most cases, so that's why whenever you are attacking Bojonn, just use Robot. And then anytime you see Megaphone above 100 HP, just get it down to below 100. Okay, I got unlucky there. Anyway, let's repeat the same strat again. Bojonn with Robot, Knight with Megaphone. Nice! I got a dodge there. It's always good when you get a dodge, because sometimes you can get unlucky and just get screwed. Okay, so now that we're at this situation where this is turn 6 and I have Robot Special, aim, for Bojonn here. So Robot Special has like burn damage also. I believe it does. The burn damage does like 25 health. I believe so. In this situation, so after the burn damage, Megaphone will be at 99 HP. So even if Bojonn somehow survives, Shaman will heal Megaphone instead of Bojonn. So let's kill Bojonn now. 26. 1 HP. That's unlucky, but that's okay. At this point, you pretty much have a guaranteed victory. So if there ever comes a situation where Bojonn is low health, but Megaphone has above 100 HP, then he'll heal Bojonn, and the Shaman will heal it by 128 HP. So you want to generally avoid that as much as possible. Alright, so then last turn, I got unlucky. I didn't get, like, the damage ranges. He could have died last turn if I would have gotten lucky with the burn, but that's okay. If he's down to low health, you can just, stop the animation hits right away, and then skip killing the Megaphone. So that is World 1. Now we are going to enter World 2, the Mall. This is the longest section of the game, so I forgot to split, but I basically I split a Bojonn after the victory animation. Mall is very long. There's just a lot of fighting, and what Bojonn gives you after you win. So you can press Y to pull up the quests, and then use the triggers to get to to switch between the menus. So Y left, and then put the spider on Reynold. Replace the cat with Reynold with Fang. Spider is going to be your main weapon throughout this entire game, because RNG is a big part of this game. So I'll explain the Spider Stamp. The Spider Stamp has a 40% scare chance of scaring an enemy, which in this game is effectively a one-hit KO on enemies. And that 40% is very deceptive, because you'd be surprised how often it fails. And it's very annoying. But the Spider Stamp does help out a lot and does make fights so much easier because we're so low-leveled, so we have to use it. So the basic formula with the Spider Stamp is... Here, I'll even, just kind of visualize it on screen. It is... I am terrible at typing, so... It is a 40% chance on turns 1 and 2. But basically the way the game handles it is there is a limiter of 3. So, let's just say, if you failed the 40% if you failed the 40% twice. So if you fail twice, the game will basically guarantee you the third hit. I'll just do T for turn. Yeah, I'll do smiley face for guaranteed. There you go. So if you fail twice, the third hit on the third time you scare is a guaranteed that it'll work. But if you succeed twice, so you can get a max up to 2 scares, but if you succeed twice, then you will scare chance is fail. So basically, the idea is you can successfully scare twice, but on the third turn it'll fail. But you can fail twice, and then on the third turn it'll succeed. So, you know, just the rule of 3 is all you really need to get out of that. And we'll show it kind of more as we go in battle. So just skate over here, mash through the text. Go over here, mash through the text. Swap to night immediately. Go under the roof here. There is the big candy shop. That's a lot of candy, yo. Skate down here, and then run into this guy. So this guy used to be part of the route. You can skip the battles, of course. We're going to run away. You can press L and T, L and the left and right triggers to run away. And talk to this guy to get the first Space Warrior piece. Just kind of follow the lines, go down, talk to this guy. And then menu manip a few times. The reason we menu manip is to kind of stop the grubbin from moving. So after this guy, he'll give you the third one. So the way this menu manip I'm talking about works is, so pay attention to that guy over there, to the left of me. So if I menu, he'll stop, and like all enemies just stop. You can kind of control their movement and just make them stop immediately. So if you want to like make a cycle to get to this part, you can main menu and the grubbin will just stop. So use that to your advantage, depending on what the cycles is. Sometimes the cycles are a bit random, and because I'm, you know, making a tutorial and explaining things, it's gonna be, you know, I'm not gonna maybe making the cycles as well as I normally would in the run. I would recommend just watching a run if you want to see what the cycles are. So scroll down here, and then when you get to this point, do not step forward. You want to switch to Space Warrior immediately, so you can avoid an annoying text here. If you go into here without swapping to Space Warrior, without lighting up, then you'll get like an annoying like animation where it just like scurries you back a little bit. It's like a minor time save, but yeah, go through the light, swap to robot, hit the top 2, and then fight this guy. So this is the one optional in the game we fight. So this is where we're going to use the scare. So you can use your stamps with the B button. It's a 40% chance of working. Sometimes you can get lucky and get it first try. And if you fail, just, you know, fight, basically. I'm going to pray that he doesn't attack Robot. Unfortunately, he attacked Robot there. I go for the scare 3 times. Basically, it's faster just to get the scare than it is just to defeat him. So getting it on the second try is, like, definitely perfect. First try, obviously, is ideal. If you get it the third time, you're not really losing much time at all. You can just kind of spam your hits with, like, the Knight. And the reason I put Knight there specifically is because he has a fast attack animation. When you get to this point, swap to Space Warrior and hug the right side of the wall. Sometimes you can skip this guy. I didn't get to skip him, unfortunately, in this one. But we don't fight this guy. I like to hug the right side of the wall as much as possible. We haven't really figured out a consistent way for him yet to dodge it. So anyway, you'll see that grubbin. If he aligns with a cycle, he'll be right over there. Swap to Robot. And then walk around here. This grubbin, there's no way to skip him. So just run away. So you'll notice anytime we see an optional, just run away. Go here. Talk to this dude to activate the Bojonn quest. Okay, so from here, this point, this is kind of where the route divides a little bit, because I have a different, slightly altered route, and Bob has a different route, but at the end of the day, it's basically almost the same, but the first part is the same. Go over here, trick or treat, and then go over here and fight an enemy. So what you want to do is swap out Knight for Space Warrior, and then it doesn't matter where you have Space Warrior or Robot. I like to have Space Warrior in the front because he has a faster, like, scare animation. And just scare the first guy you see. Now, let's just say I did not get that scare the first try, then you can just simply run away and try the fight again. So these guys are very difficult, and they take forever to take out, so I don't even bother, like, attacking them. Like, you know, seriously, so I just, like, wing my hits pretty much. If you're lucky like me, you'll get both of them first try. Man, why can't I ever get that in a run? But if you get a couple fails, that's fine. Just basically just keep stalling and like spamming the scare until you get lucky. I would recommend trying to first try Scared. If you don't get first try Scared, just quit the fight and re-enter the fight and try it again until you get the first try, because it's gonna be just way faster to get a first try. And you can be very unlucky. Like I know Bob said he had there was like 10 resets or whatever he had one time, and he didn't get a scare one. So sometimes that 40% really is bad. But if you're less than lucky like me, you get a first try. All you gotta do is believe in the RNG. Anyway, go over here, talk to these kids, and then talk to the Bojonn and Grubbin. So this is another reset fight. So you want to get scare first try generally. If you don't get scare first try, just reset. Holy crap, I'm getting lucky today. If you don't get scare first try, you can run away and then just reactivate the fight and try it again. But yeah, once you get scare first try, this fight is just completely free. Then you just do normal attacks and then use your specials whenever you can. Basically, your specials will recharge every 3 turns, so on the 3rd turn, you'll get to use your specials. And when you know it's your special turn, just spam Y, just to get the animation faster. So that's Bojonn 2. Straightforward if you get the scares. You can technically beat him if you get a 3rd try scare, but the problem is he does a lot of damage, and enemies in this game like to target one guy a lot, I've noticed. So if they basically target nothing but robot, then you're kind of fucked, and that's why I try to just, get the scare first try, like even if I have to like reset a few times. So since he was low on HP, just I call it BS hit or just quick hit the last guy. You level up to level 3, and I split after you beat Bojonn. I kind of split weight there, but if you want like the proper splits, just follow like how I do in like the runs. Go over here. Go down here. Get this chest. And then you can save the banana kid here by just talking here. So this is a new addition to the route. We added the hide and seek kids. So the hide and seek kids, if you collect all 6 of them in a world, they'll give you stat points basically. Right now I have 0 for like stat. You see where like that pumpkin bag is? Well, actually I can draw it for you. Anyway, yeah, if you see... Yeah, so if you see over here, like the pumpkin bag, you'll see the stats are over here. Right now, I have nothing because I didn't collect any of the hide-and-seek kids. But after you collect the hide-and-seek kids in Mall, they'll give you a stat boost and a plus 5 AP. The World 1 hide-and-seek kids also do it. And anyway, here, come see Lucy. Smash A. So now you have a 3rd party member. Go over here, mash A, and then go here, like up to these boxes, press Y to menu swap, and then basically give Lucy the cat, keep Reynold and Everett the same, and then swap Knight to the front. So the one thing we're going to be doing a lot in Mall is scaring, and you want Knight to do all the scaring because Knight doesn't have an attacking special. He has a defending special, so if you use Knight special, then you're not really helping yourself that much in fights. It's faster just to, like, attack. So this Bojonn, you don't have to get first try scare. You can simply just, get a 3rd try, and you're probably alright. So, scare the higher HP enemies. Wow, I am getting lucky today. And then focus on the Grubbin Warlock, as he can be very annoying to kill. Let's see how this fight goes. Alright, so I know Knight's not going to kill him, so I'm going to use Knight to attack Bojonn in this case. Then use Space Warrior to kill the Grubbin, because I have the Claw. Oh, didn't quite do it. So, this turn you want to finish off the Grubbin, just to get rid of him. So yeah, that's the reason we want to kill the Grubbin Forlock right away, is because he does burn damage, and it's very, very annoying. You can also, alternatively, if you want to, you can try to scare him again, to go for a double scare, but I would advise not going for it, just try to get, you know, focus on killing him right away, just so you have one less enemy to attack you. So anyway, this is turn 3, so just attack with Knight, and then use your specials. So Robot Special does burn damage, but Space Warriors does not. Space Warriors does splash damage. Sometimes people get that confused. So now we can finish off Bojonn here. Bojonn 3 is not nearly as bad. Wow, he actually survived at 1 HP. That is unlucky. Okay, sometimes he can survive at 1 HP, sometimes not. Most bosses in this game have a weird, like, 1 HP thing, where, like, you know, technically on the cutscene, like, it's 1 HP showing, like, they're gonna die, but, in that case, I got, like, severely damage ranged, but whatever. Go here, and go through the minecart. Alright, step out of the rail station, and then just walk down, like, just face downward, and then talk to Sid. He'll give you 300 XP. And now this is kind of where routes differ. So I'm going to show off my route, because that's the one I usually play. But I will show off Bob's route at the end also, at the end of Mall, just so you kind of have like a side-by-side comparison. But on the Bob route, I'll skip all the fights. So take the rail station all the way over here. Alright, so swap to Robot if you already haven't. Save the second hide-and-seek kit over here. And then this should just be Candy. Go down here. Don't forget to grab the unicorn piece, because we will need it. Go up here, and then swap to Knight anytime you enter a battle. So the strat for the battles here, scare the high HP enemy, and then if you fail, just aim for the medic. See, you can't get scare luck every time. Aim for the medic, because if you get medic low HP, then he'll be forced to heal, and I like to keep the medics low HP just to prevent them from doing damage. In this case, it didn't, but he's more likely to do damage. Alright, so that guy just did like an attack boost on himself. I like to call it an OP boost. So turn 2, just if you fail to scare, just try to scare again. It's a 40% chance. So I failed twice, so that means my third attempt will be a guaranteed scare. But I should be able to take out Doctor this turn at least, just based off the damage, since I did more than half. So that's one less guy to worry about now. Oh, nice dodge. Nice dodge! So yeah, sometimes you can get very lucky, sometimes you can get very unlucky. It's lucky that I didn't get damaged by this guy, because his burn damage would have done a lot and probably would have taken out Robot. Alright, so this is turn 3. Since I failed twice, scare is guaranteed on this turn. And now I have my 2 specials, so I will use Robot and Space Warrior specials. So a lot of these battles, you know, they definitely are scenario-based. I forgot to split on Bojonn, man. I'm terrible at splitting. Anyway, yeah. We're gonna special this guy. Bojonn 3, you split after you beat him. Wow, these dodges were crazy. So he's below, like, 25, 30 HP. I like to just BS it. That's kind of my rule of thumb with, like, the quick hits. So that fight went pretty well. It could have been worse if I didn't, you know, if they would have just targeted Knight. Sometimes you come across situations where they just target one guy, and if it's your scarer, then that's just a lot of time loss. So go down here, and now this should just be Candy, I believe. Yep. And now we're going to be doing Ninja Skip. after we fight this guy. I forgot about this guy, my bad. This one's another just scare first turn. I didn't get lucky, but that's okay. If you don't get lucky, then you can just attack any of them. Since they have the same amount of HP, you don't have to aim for a particular one. But since I attacked that guy, I'm going to try to scare the second guy now. So I hope the battles are kind of starting to make sense. Essentially, okay, cool. Second try, I get it. So that'll make it a little bit easier. If you can get the scares the first try, then you're saving a lot of attack animations, which is where a lot of your time save's generally going to come from. So here, since I have my two specials, I could just go for another scare to see if I get it. Sometimes you can get lucky, so after you get the first scare, then like the scare kind of counter reset. The scare counter of 3 resets, so you can get basically fail, fail, succeed, or you can get another success, if that makes sense. So, if you don't get the scare, that's okay, just, you know, special. And since this guy has below 30 HP, I'm not going to waste my special animation, I'm just going to attack him right away, just to, you know, quickly kill him rather than waiting through the animation time. So after that guy, then you can go to you can go here. Swap to Night, and this skip was literally discovered like yesterday from Chrome and Death at 2 in the morning. Guys, those guys find things at 2 in the morning all the time. I just find it funny. Anyway, so when you're over here, this skip is pretty new, but basically go in the bottom right corner of the escalator over here, and we're going to kind of do what we did in like World 1, where we're going to kind of clip through these guys. There's like a thin invisible wall. The invisible wall is kind of like right here, but it's like super duper thin. We want... Wow, I hate... Why does this game change the resolution on me sometimes? Okay, anyway, go down here, shield clip, and then we're gonna hold down right. So what we're gonna want to do here is similar to the World 1 skip, we're gonna be doing another, like, wiggling strat clip. So I go from down right to, like, right a bunch. And you notice as I'm kind of spamming it, you are clipping through. You can also spam, like, the tap button to also clip through, but I don't recommend it. It's just slower, and also it's just... It hurts my hands more. You notice, like, you're clipping through by, if you pay attention to the pumpkin right here. The pumpkin is who I'm kind of, like, paying attention to when I'm doing the clip. So, as we're moving, that pumpkin is moving also. And when you get to about... When the pumpkin's eye is starting to reach the end of the screen, or, like, you know, rather is in the end of the screen, you can either just kind of spam wiggling until you get up there, and it can work, or, you know, once pumpkin eyes is clipped in enough. Still not clipped in enough, jeez. I'm still new to this skip myself, so I'm not the best at it, but you can get this done. If you do it quickly, you can get it done in, like, 8 seconds, like, max. It's pretty consistent. And then if I do this... Okay, so that should be good enough. So then, if you did it right, you can go up here and then walk up the stairs. So you don't have to wait for Pumpkin, I guess, to be all the way over there. But, yeah, it's pretty lenient, I think. Just practice it. It's not too bad. And you get used to it. You can also just, like, keep spamming the wiggling until you get up there, too. So this will save 3 minutes, because we used to fight the horned guys to activate the ninja quests. And then those horned guys took, like, a long time to fight because you'd have to scare them and everything. So it's nice that we edited them out of the route now. So go up here. Get the candy. So now we don't have ninja anymore. We can't sneak past these guys. So if these guys are on the right cycle, you can just hug the corner of the walls and, like, skip them. Or you can just kind of run into them if you want to run away, if you don't want to wait. It's up to you. Swap to Night. And we're going to be doing the same strategy right here. Scare the high HP enemy. Now, if you fail, just basically do what I did in the other fight. Just keep trying until, you know, just keep scaring him until you get lucky, basically. If you want to, you can try to first turn scare this guy, too. This fight is actually kind of hard at level 3, admittedly, so if you don't get lucky, you could also just reset and try it again. Like, run away and then just try to activate the Trick or Treat again. So sometimes what I like to do is, since I got lucky over there, I do try to press my luck since I have like a high HP value. I just scare the first guy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so no, there's no reason not to try, because if you can get a double scare off, then of course that's a lot of time saved right there. Okay, they're just making both of themselves OP. So I'm going to try scaring the high HP guy again. No effect. That's fine. If you want to, you can use your special, but since the Warlock doesn't really have that much, I'm not going to bother with the special animation spam. I'm just going to focus on killing the Warlock and just canceling my animations fast, because since I failed twice now... Holy crap, 81. That's a lot of damage. Since I know this guy, I was at a high HP value and I failed twice in a row. Third time will guarantee it. So you kind of have to just kind of get in the rhythm of like the scaring if you want to maximize its full potential. Otherwise, you could have just used your special and attacked them, and that would have been fine too. I like to go for like high risk, high reward though. Okay, so that's the third kid on the upstairs. Alright, so this guy wasn't on cycle, but whatever. We'll just run into him and run away. This guy's in the way, okay. Get the candy. And then this guy... Ah, I didn't quite get the cycle because I ran. You could walk around that corner if you want to try to avoid it too. Depends on what the cycle is. You can also menu spam to kind of stop them if you want them to stay in like the cycle. I don't usually bother with it. So after that, we're gonna make our way all the way around. Run into this guy and run away once again. And then go here. And yeah, I got lucky with like that, him being on the cycle, and I just used the corner of that rail to avoid him. But if he's not, then just run into him and avoid him rather than trying to wait for him. Alright, so this house, once again, trick or treat, and just go for scare strats. Man, my scare luck has been on par today. So, this one you don't have to reset for. I recommend just, if you want to reset for, you can first try scare, but I don't think this one is as necessary because this guy is pretty consistent. So, lower the medic's HP so then he'll be forced to heal. Sometimes he'll attack, which is fine too, because that means you can kill him next turn. But I like to kind of abuse the healing so that I can get a second scare on him. If you're lucky, you can get 2 scares, like me. And that saves even more time. But if you don't get if you get 2 fails in a row, and then you get the guaranteed 3rd scare, only go for 1 guy, is my recommendation. And then you can just target the other guy, because it's not worth going for more than 3 turns of scaring, in my opinion. So yeah, that's that battle. So we hit this part earlier, drop down. Get the glitter. Go down here. Activate the unicorn quest. Activate the pumpkin sucking piece. And then from here, proceed down here. So with the unicorn quest, we have to talk to the 3 judges. So talk to this guy, this person. You only talk to him once. I just mashed on accident. Get this hide and seek kid right here. Go up around. If you didn't get this house already, get it now. I like to save it for later because I think it's a little faster. Get this hide and seek kid here. Go to the shop. by One-Eyed Vampire Bat, by Bloodshot Eyes, and by Egg. Those are the 3 items that you'll need throughout the rest of the game. And now for, we're gonna swap our stamps around for the boss. So we're gonna first just go all the way down to Bloodshot Eyes, give that to Lucy, to the bottom person, and then give Cats to Reynold. Talk to this guy. Oh wait, I forgot to mention, sorry. When you're in the shop, ideally go over here. Get the 6 hide-and-go-seek kid, and then do your shopping, so that was a mistake on my part, but I forgot to split again. After that, talk to this guy, do the last trick-or-treat house, talk to this person, and then just go down. You don't have to go down like this way. If you want a smaller line, you can go up here and around, whatever you want to do. And before you talk to the costume contest guy, the solution is Robot, Knight, and Liberty, basically the first 3 costumes you get in the game. And then split when you get the unicorn piece right here. That's what I like to do. If you didn't get the pumpkin piece already, go get it. And now we're ready for Metxel, or as I like to call him, Pretzel. Go into the train station. Metxel is not too bad of a boss. Since now that we've had him at level 4, he's a little more risky. So the team setup is Unicorn, Robot, and Space Warriors, so up left, up, and down left, if you want to remember the movements patterns. And then we already attached the stamps when we bought them at the shop. So this fight can be a little bit dicey, because if they target Unicorn, then it's just kind of annoying. So target the lower HP guy, because you don't have to kill these throw bags, you just have to get them low health. And of course, if you get higher damage ranges, then you can access like the second phase of Metxel faster. If they attack Robot or Space Warrior, it's fine. It's not really... Oh my god, they are targeting Robot. That is crazy. You don't want them to target one person, but if they're targeting like multiple people, ideally Space Warrior and Robot would be the best ones. If they're targeting Unicorn, it's slightly annoying, but you can deal with it usually. Alright, so then, after this cutscene, this is where Metxel basically announced who he's going to attack with his big attack. So, he kind of has like... Metxel has an interesting thing here. So, he'll threaten whoever... he'll tell you who he's threatening. In this case, he's threatening Robot, which is the best case, because Robot has the least amount of HP. And if Robot dies, we can just heal with Unicorn. So, if he threatens Unicorn, and Unicorn is damaged, I would recommend healing Unicorn to max health. That's what I'll do. But since in this scenario, he attacked either Unicorn or Space Warrior, and he's threatening one of them, it's fine if he threatens one of them, because you can make your way... You can work around this. So use your specials on this turn. Now he does have a chance, like he'll either do it on his first turn of attack or second turn. Sometimes he'll just wait a turn to do it. So in this case, he didn't wait a turn. Okay, so Robot's dead, but that's fine. We can just heal him. So the reason going for Robot, him attacking Robot there was very good, is because that avoids a stun animation. And the stun animation basically means you can't do anything for a turn. If they do it on Unicorn, it's probably the worst scenario you can have if they target Unicorn. But overall, this fight's not that bad. Basically, just make sure everyone's alive. We used to do this at level 5, so this is a little bit slower than level 5 just because of like the damage output. But not too bad. It all depends on like who Metxel decides to threaten. Okay, they're threatening Unicorn now. So there's nothing I can do because Unicorn's at max health. And I believe the special attack they do Metxel does a set amount, or it's like a percentage or something. It doesn't do like full. It doesn't. You're not gonna die from it in one hit, but it does a certain amount. So he's threatening me again, which is good. That's lucky. Sometimes they'll do 2 threats, which is basically essentially him doing nothing. But if sometimes he'll do the threat on turn 1, and this is a good scenario because he's almost dead. And then since he's low HP, we'll BS it. But guess what? He's not dead. This is actually phase 2. So because I killed him before he did the actual threat attack, now that threat attack animation is just gone. So he just attacked a random person. We're just going to attack Metxel. And once again, just keep attacking until we get our specials back. And if either Robot or Space Warrior dies, it's not a big deal. You can just heal him back up. The quick attacks aren't too bad either. The quick attacks are usually probably the best thing you want Metxel to do, because Metxel just does like 20 damage to you, essentially. Okay, so they're threatening Unicorn again, which isn't a big deal. Okay, so 100 damage to the Unicorn, so since they attacked Unicorn, you know, she can't do anything next turn, so it's kind of an annoying situation. So if they attack Unicorn, then that means I can't heal anymore, but it's okay, because it's the end of the fight, I'll basically win because of specials alone. If they attack Robot, I can just heal back up Robot, so no big either way. Let's see what he attacks. Robot, whatever. Okay, so in this situation, I think I'm good. So if you want to play it safe, you can heal up Robot. I guess I'll play it safe, but I could also just attack with the Unicorn and then use the Space Warrior special. All depends on how you want to play. If you want to play it safe and just guarantee yourself a victory, you can do this. Or if you want to play it a little bit risky with damage ranges, you can just attack with Robot and then do this. So that is Maul. And then just skip the cutscene once again, and now we're in Fall Valley. Now before I proceed to Fall Valley, I will show you the route that Bob does in his world record. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so this is Bob's video, basically. This is his world record. So I'm gonna kind of skim through, like, briefly what he does. So after he beats Bojonn 3, he goes immediately down here to take advantage of the Head and Seek kids. So gets that trick or treat. He activates the Unicorn quest. Saves that kid. Goes down here to save the other kid, as well as do that judge. Saves that kid. He applies Bloodshot Eyes, which you can give to Lucy if you want. Talks to that judge, does that. And then, so this routing is a little bit different. He goes up here to fight these guys. I'll just skip through the fights because I've already been through them already. Goes over here and does all the trick-or-treating and stuff here. Skip through this fight again also. Grabs the Unicorn piece. And then saves the kid. So, and then he grabs the last trick-or-treat here. So this, the glitch he's doing is different because this was before we found the faster method that I showed you. So instead of going this far, you could go back to the staircase and, you know, do that glitch and then go up. It leads to the same results. And then when you get past the glitch, but you can go up here and save the hide-and-seek kid. And then basically the route from here is pretty much the same. Just get the rest of the trick-or-treat houses. So that's the other route you can do. Okay, so the reason he does that is, as you can see here, by getting all 5 hide-and-seek kids, or 6 hide-and-seek kids, you get a +5 attack power in your stats, which is really, really, really good. Because that makes just the damage output for Metxel a lot better. So I had the +5 for Metxel, but Bob also used it for the remaining trick-or-treat houses. So if you want to do that route, and you have more power, you can do that. Where if you want to do my route where you're just kind of using more scares, you can do that also. I think both have potential. I think the routing he did could be a little bit different now since, well, the routing he had in mind was when we had the older ninja skip. But anyway, let's get back to this. We're now on the gate skip split. This is World 3, the final world. This has also a ton of skips, so as soon as you skip the cutscene, just go down, break the box, and just go down, break that, and then just mash B through everything, mash A through skip through the dialogue. This part of the run is pretty chill, because after a long, after a long time of just nothing but fighting and Maul, you get a nice little break and just walk and relax. Just kind of follow the lines I'm going through to get to the French fry costume as soon as possible. We're going to talk to... I forgot your name. You're like the pig one, right? Chip. You talk to Chip. Oh, I get it. Fries and chips. Ah, that's clever. So you get the fry costume. Fry costume is also very broken, as you'll see shortly. Go back to this path right here. And then once you get over here, immediately activate the fry. Sometimes you can get caught between them, because if they catch you, it's like a black cutscene, but sometimes that happens. And then do this guy, and then get your costumes back. Switch to robots, and then save the kid. You can also save him from this side if you want. It's up to you. So we need to save these hide-and-seek kids too, because they also give us a stat boost. So second one is right by the rock. Third one is right over here. We're going to ignore Chip for now. Now, if you didn't already do your, like, shopping, if you're doing Bob's route with, like, the hide-and-seek kids, you would do your shopping for the one-eyed vampire bats and stuff right now. So, yes, you need the one-eyed vampire bat for Dorsilla, unless you want to do the riskier strat, if you're rolling the strats I'm doing. So, switch to the French fry costume, and get this kid. Basically, we're going to... let me kind of draw, I guess, on screen. We are going to line this kid up, like, in the middle right here, so that he will phase through us, and we will be able to walk over that rock, that piece over there. So, I like to lure him over here. He has to also kind of be, like, stationed perfectly, so we can, like, right there. If the kid's about here, that's usually good. And then just walk in front of him. Like, make sure you're kind of covering him, and then... Okay, so that didn't work because he wasn't down enough, so he has to be a little bit down. Sometimes you do have to move him down a little bit. So walk on, clip through him, and then press down, and you can walk on that. Voila, I'll show it again. You can do this, you can do this. This skip isn't too bad once you practice it, so make sure, make sure the kid is kind of aligned with this rock over here. I am bad at drawing, holy crap. There we go. Make sure the kid is aligned with the rock, and you can cross through. Not too hard of a skip, it's just, takes a little bit of practice, that's all. Okay, swap to robots, save the kid here, go in here, switch to Space Warrior, go around the tent, and save the 5th hide-and-seek kid, So why are we going out of our way for the hide-and-seek kids? Once again, the hide-and-seek kids are for the stat boost. Go down here, and now this is going to be the biggest skip. So first off, get the pumpkin. Swap the robot. Save the final kid. So after you get the 6th kid, in your stats, you'll have plus 10 for the pumpkin. So that's good. So the way the stats and stuff work is each world has hide-and-seek kids. They, their AP stat, basically the hide-and-seek kids have set stats. So if you collect these hide-and-seek kids last, they always give you plus 10. The ones in Mall also always give you plus 5. The ones in World 1 are glitched, and they don't give you anything. Which, they're supposed to give you, like, plus 2, I think, in the code, but for some reason they don't, so... kind of like a funny oversight over there. But yeah, now we have plus 10 attack power. Go down here. The gate skip. And now gate skip is, kind of interesting, because I think this is probably the hardest trick in the game, but I promise you, once you practice it, it's not too bad. So go in the corner here. Kind of like with Ninja Skip, we're going to go in the corner. So what I like to do to start off is I like to tap down right twice, so I'm clipped in. So now the thing is, we're going to kind of clip from down right to more down right, basically, if that makes sense. So similar to like how we did like Ninja Clip, where we're doing the opposite, where we're going from like down right to like right, but this one we're going down right to, you know, kind of rightish to down rightish, you know. And you'll notice, like, if you pay attention to, sorry, I have like my lines glitched here. If you pay attention to like night, like you'll notice I'm kind of clipping in, like every time. Don't use the roller skates while doing it. You'll notice like I'm kind of clipping in. Like every time you're seeing like me kind of advance. So you just have to kind of play it and then hold right, and then I do like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then do like another advance, basically. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1, 2. So then when you do it 4 times, then on the 4th time, you can hold the stick all the way down, and you should be able to go through. So I failed that one on purpose, just to kind of show you guys. So I do like 1, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then I hold down, and then you can clip through the gates. Sometimes you have to do 5, so that's why I like to kind of stick. You like to stay in one place when you do it. So down right, down right, down right, down right, down right. You'll feel them kind of clipping through. And then once you got it, I didn't quite get it there. Down right, down right, and then hold the stick. So it's kind of like you're almost trying to clip in like every time. So I like to go from like the down right to like full down. So then you'll see the characters just kind of moving, and you'll see Knight is also just kind of clearing like every single time. So it'll take a little bit of practice, but every time you clip through, just kind of hold right for like 1 Mississippi and 2 Mississippi, and then do it. And then once you're clipped in, you can hold down all the way, like go from like a down to right, and then you're through the gate. I can make a more in-depth tutorial about gate skip later on, but the idea is just go from like 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You know, think of an analog stick as a clock. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock on the stick. And then, you know, once you're trying to clip in, you go full 6 o'clock, and then hold 5 o'clock a little more. And then go 6 o'clock, you know, 6 o'clock. So do it like 4 times, and then after the 4th one, then you can go full 6 o'clock, and you can walk down. Anyway, so I split when I get the gate skip. So now the rest of the route is pretty straightforward. Some people like to do this maze differently. So I like to go from the left side here. Maze is just memorizing. There's not really much to it. Go from this side, where the pumpkins are. Talk to this dude. and we're gonna start the grubbin test. So then go from here, just go straight. And then just follow the maze. Save this grubbin. Go down. And then go right. And then just go this way. When you go from, you know, this arch, go all the way down. That's how I remember it. And then the grubbin you need to save is right here. You can do this one first if you want to. It doesn't really matter, like the order that much. Swap to robot, smash that. And then when you want to talk to this guy, talk to the grubbin. Switch to the grubbin. And then keep the grubbin costume on so he doesn't spot you. And then over here you can switch. Not too bad. So follow my path. And then here, before you go in, make sure you have your stamps ready. The stamps you're using should basically be the same as, is basically the exact same as the Metxel fight you had before, so you don't have to actually change anything in the stamps, but I'll show the stamps anyway. If you're doing my strats, then you're gonna just use the same strats, the same stamps you already had. So the costumes you're using here are Pumpkin in slot 1, Robot in slot 2, and Space Warrior in slot 3, basically so you can spam their specials. And then you just chill for 20 seconds, because for some reason Metxel is walking very, 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 very slowly. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't get it. I guess it's like a developer joke or something. So Metxel 2 is incredibly easy compared to Metxel 1, because you don't really have to worry about him threatening you or anything anymore. So this one is just, you just attack spam. Even though you're level 4, not too hard. And there's no phase 2 this time. And then turn 3, just spam your specials. So he'll survive, because we're lower leveled than what we used to be. If you get the lucky damage ranges, you could potentially kill him on turn 3. If not, just finish him off on turn 4. No big. Anyway, that's Pretzel done. And now we are level 5. Swap to Robot. Go to the bottom side here. Go left all the way down to get to the left ramp. And then go right here. If you're having trouble seeing, actually, you know, one thing you can always do is go to, like, your settings. And then, like, increase the brightness if you want. This game is pretty dark, I would say. If you want... I like to keep the brightness a little bit high, just because, like, I don't know why they make it so dark. And then stop here at the fire pits. So then your stamps at Dorsilla are going to be... Vampire Bat in slot 1 for Unicorn. Slot 3 is fine for, well, slot 2 you want, the Blood Eyes, and then slot 3 you want the Egg. I screwed that up. So basically, Vampire Bat, so basically from here you go Vampire Bat, and then Y for Lucy, for X for Everett for Bloodshot Eyes, and then Egg for Lucy. And your team composition is, I forgot, so Unicorn, Pumpkin, and Knight. So Unicorn, Pumpkin, and Knight. Sorry, I was thinking of a different category. And these stamps. Okay. Alright, so let's see what she does in the first turn. So first turn, you can just melee attack her. Nothing to it. Okay, so she's doing the cage thing, which isn't too bad. So I get to show off kind of like what you can do during the cage. So if she does cage, that's okay. So it depends on who she attacks. So if she decides to kidnap Unicorn, then you want to save Unicorn, because Unicorn is your best piece in the fight, because Unicorn will be healing everything. But in my case, since they saved Pumpkin, you can just attack Dorsilla. And I don't have my specials yet, so not really a big deal. The only annoying part is just like an annoying cutscene. I accidentally pressed B. I should have attacked him, but that's okay. Okay, so she's charging up. Sometimes she'll have like these things where she charges up. So the way the charging works is it goes by like a 3, 2, 1 kind of meter. So this is turn 3 at the moment. You can also just call it like do 1, 2, 3 if you want. For my sake, I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1 because it's easier. So this is why we want the egg. I'm gonna actually save Pumpkin now, so that we have Pumpkin special. So that is turn 1. Let's save Pumpkin now. And Pumpkin has a special, so we'll spam the special. This is still turn 2, keep that in mind. Okay, so now this is turn 3. Pumpkin will just do whatever. And then use the egg here. Don't use the egg like I did before. Lol. Alright, let's see what she does next. It's pretty much random. Okay, so she just does like a regular attack. So the nice thing about the Vampire Bat is that it heals you by 11 HP, in my case, every turn. It does like a 7%, I think, health every turn. The Bloodshot Eyeballs, I should mention also, raises your critical hit chance. Basically, all it means is you're going to do like a higher damage range. It's going to go on the higher range of the damage output. So it's better than Fang, but it's not as good as Jawbone because we don't have Jawbone anymore. So it's kind of like the middle line. Okay, she's attacking Unicorn over and over, interestingly enough. So I'm not gonna do anything with that yet. We're gonna keep lowering her health. This fight here I'm showing is pretty lucky so far, because usually your fights don't go this good. Usually she'll do like her cloning phase. So I like to defend Unicorn if she does like the quick attacks. Okay, so she's doing the cage strat again, so you can kind of manipulate this a little bit too. Who you want in there. If you don't like Knight, I don't really care about right now because, you know, he's just my egger. So I can kind of just focus on attacking Dorsilla during this time. It depends on what she does. You can also just let her kill you if you really want. Or you can like do what I do and just like do some damage and then just attack Dorsilla with Pumpkin to do, since Pumpkin does the most damage. You can kind of do half and half. And she can also attack the third guy. I'm unfortunately not getting quite lucky with it. Okay, that's fine. Here, I'm gonna rescue Knight now. I'm gonna defend Unicorn so that she has the shield up. And then next turn, I'm going to revive my Pumpkin. Okay, so this is kind of why I had Unicorn in the first place. Okay, she's charging up. So, the way we handle this fight largely depends on how, you know, when she does it. So she can do clone state turn 1. So when the clones are out, you want to have everyone alive, and you want to defend Unicorn as much as possible. So this is her second turn charging, so now this will only take 2 turns for her to do her big attack. What I like to do in this meantime, since she revealed who the real one was, that's one way you can tell. If she doesn't reveal it, I always just like to go for the top one. Just to, you know, get it out of the way. You don't want all 3 of these guys attacking you, so I prefer to just, like, kill one of them right away. So this is turn 1 of her charging. Now this is turn 2. Alright, I'll do this. And then that clone Dorsilla will die. And now I'm going to egg the real Dorsilla. If you get caught in a situation where you have the clones, you want to just keep her in the clone phase, because this way she'll do nothing. Oh man, they just targeted Knight there. That's okay, I'll revive him next turn. So we'll attack the real Dorsilla. I don't recommend killing the other clone, because it's just a waste of time. If you keep the real Dorsilla alive here, then it'll make sure that she doesn't go into any other phases. Sometimes she can just target people. That's why I have the healing stamp, to make it more consistent. There is another strategy you can do where instead of using Knight, you can use the robot. And if you want to play a little more risky, you can power play and have like more specials to use. But I personally stopped doing that strat because I found it made the fights way more risky. And with this game, you don't want to die as much because the final boss, Big Bones, is even more of like a risk factor. And I always just rather prefer consistency over time save. If you want to go for like a super high-end time, then you can use robots instead. But yeah, idea here is Unicorn heals everyone. Knight will shield the Unicorns so that Unicorn can heal people and survive more. Unicorn is like basically your most important chess piece of this fight. But yeah, just let them attack. If Pumpkin dies, it's not a big deal. You can just revive him again. So this fight isn't that bad with, like, Knight. It's just a very slow fight. In my PB, I got, like, an 8-minute fight. But you can get it as low as, like, 5.5 minutes or 6 minutes, even. Okay, so the final time she does this attack, this is only going to be 1 turn, so you have to use the egg right away. Like I said, it goes down a weird counter. Like, her first time doing it, it's 3 turns. Second time doing it is 2 turns. For the last time doing it is, like, 1 turn. So this one, we want to just use her egg. You don't want to unleash her wrath, and you want to keep tabs on, like, what turn number it is. Okay, since I have everyone alive, I'm just going to finish Dorsilla off, and now I have Pumpkin Special to use. So that'll be half damage. I should mention, Pumpkin Special does half HP damage if it's below 400, but if it's above 400, then it does like a damage range between 350 and 400. That's just how it works. Okay, and then that's Dorsilla down. Okay, so now let me show you kind of an example of a fight if you get the clones early. If you want, I could make a tutorial later on that kind of goes more in depth with like all the possible Dorsilla scenarios. These are just kind of the ones I've run across. So here's kind of an example of the fight where I get the clones right away. Usually getting clones right away is not that good, because if she clones right away, it's just annoying. She can get it as early as like 3,500 HP. So I know I have Jawbones in this video. It's different because this was like a different route, but it's basically the same. So she clones early, and she kind of targets everyone. So I hit the left person first. So I realized that's the real Dorsilla because it did the least amount of damage, because the clones it'll do more damage to the clones. So if Dorsilla, basically if Dorsilla does the clone's first turn, then that's why we want to use Night Shield as much as possible to keep Unicorn alive. And plus, if there's a chance that they attack Unicorn, then she can just obviously heal off the damage. So, yeah, once again, attack one of the fake ones just to get them out of the way. Once the fake Dorsilla's down, then focus on the real Dorsilla. And basically, you just kind of want to wait for her to do her lightning attack, and then just stall that out, and just keep attacking the real Dorsilla, and do the rest of the fight like that. I'm not going to show the whole fight, because, you know, the idea is kind of like the same, what I showed in my fight already. But, anyway, now, forgot to split again, I'm terrible at splitting today. Now, we're going to be doing the real meat of the fight, so... we're going to have the same team composition. This time, swap out the gray bat with the orange bat, or the no-eyed vampire bat. And then, from here, it's kind of convenient, so go right and then down twice to go use the Banshee. Put that on slot 3 on Pumpkin. Or not Pumpkin, yeah, sorry, slot 2, Pumpkin. And then slot 3, you're going to use the cat. So, Big Bones. Big Bones level 5 is easily the hardest boss in the game, and this is a run killer if you do not succeed. Big Bones is not very fun, and I've lost many, 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 many runs to it. I'll show a couple, like, you know, examples of, like, you know, like, how you can go about this fight, but it's really the phase 2 that's the hardest part. Alright, so BB, I'll kind of explain our team munition. So, Unicorn is your healer, Knight is your defender. Knight will always shield Unicorn so that she can soak up hits and heal everyone. And then, Pumpkin is just like your heavy hitter, your glass cannon essentially. So he'll do a lot of damage. So the revive stamp, I should actually kind of mention this actually. So the game kind of lies a little bit. I know I reset the fight. The game actually lies here. It says auto-resurrect after 1 turn in the description. It's actually 2 turns. It's after 2 turns, and then on the start of the 3rd turn is when your ally gets restored. So it's not actually the 1st turn. But, yeah. Once you kind of get used to it, it's not too bad. Alright, so first couple turns it's just attacking, nothing much, and then you'll use your specials, no big. He'll attack someone. Whoever he decides to attack, he attacked a knight in that case, so he took the most damage. This is turn 2. Alright, so now this is turn 3. Man, I'm not getting the dodges. That kind of sucks. Alright, so this is turn 3, so we're going to use our specials. Basically, as soon as you get Pumpkin Special, just use it. And then on the 3rd turn, as soon as you get access to shield, just defend Unicorn. Because after turn 3, Bojonn will do his big attack, and he'll pick a random person to attack. Okay, so Knight died. That's okay. If Knight dies, just revive Knight. No big. If we have Knight back, then he can defend. So on the 4th turn is where he will do his big attack. So since I have Unicorn shielded, if he attacks Unicorn, that's the best case scenario, because he'll usually do 100 damage if you don't have a shield on, but because I had the shield on, he decided to attack Unicorn, she basically absorbed the damage, and it did nothing. But if she attacks someone else, it'll usually be like a one-shot. So just kind of keep the counter, the times in mind, the turn number in mind. So that was turn 4, this is turn 5. Finally, I get a dodge. Dodges are very, very important in the Big Bones fight, because the more you get them, 1, you'll save a lot of time, and 2, It makes the phase 2 way easier. But once, like I said before, it is a 50-50 chance. He's attacking Pumpkin, which is fine. It's not really a big deal if Pumpkin dies, because Pumpkin has the auto-revive stamp, so Pumpkin will revive itself after 2 turns. And now let's see who he attacks. If he attacks Pumpkin, that's fine. Okay, Unicorn again. That is lucky. But yeah, the first phase is just kind of all about attrition, basically. Okay, so Pumpkin died. Not a big deal. It's actually better that Pumpkin dies here, because then he'll be more likely to attack Unicorn. Okay, 3 damage versus 14. Super nice. So then this is turn 2. And with Pumpkin dead, it's also faster just to kind of get through the turns. Okay, so he attacked Knight that time. No big. So now Pumpkin's back alive. And now we can use his special. So around the 1800 HP mark, that is when I suggest this is your last time you're going to be using your special. He'll do between 300 and 350 to 400, so I got a very lucky with the damage range over there, fortunately. Okay, so Pumpkin died. Or, no, Knight died, but we'll revive Knight. So no big. Now, watch the HP here, because once Big Bones is under under 1200, basically he's at 1199, that's when he'll jump to phase 2 immediately. Okay, Pumpkin's dead, not a big deal. So before we enter phase 2, we want to generally be in a... try to be in a good position. Like, try to have, like, the shield open. Like, starting on phase 2. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so now we're going to jump to phase 2 here. And this is kind of where the luck element of the game relies. So I'm kind of in a bad position here because my shield is not fully maxed out. If I had my shield maxed out here, I could have defended Unicorn. Unfortunately, Pumpkin's not alive either. So here, I have to basically just bank on a dodge. Otherwise, I lose. Nice! Okay, I got a dodge. This is good. So now I have my 3 specials back. So we're going to do this. Pumpkin special. So before I said you want to stop using Pumpkin special after 1800 HP, it's so that we can save the special for the Big Bones fight. So now that I have Unicorn still alive and not dead, we're going to shield her. Okay, I don't care that Knight dies, it's not a big deal. So we'll just revive him. And keep in mind, even if a character is dead, the special meters will still, reset after, every 3 turns. So, he'll still be there. So dodge or attack Unicorn. Attacking Unicorn obviously is better because then Unicorn can stall more. After this turn, I'll have my next special back, and then Pumpkin will also... Oh my god, that's not good. Okay, so this also kind of brings up another situation. So let's say Unicorn dies early in the fight. What do? It's either you gotta bank on a lot of dodges, or you gotta defend Knight himself. So in this case, it's fine. So I'm gonna use Pumpkin Special, and I'm going to defend Knight. Because you could still win. This is turn 1. This is turn 2. Now I have to kind of bank on a damn it. So I lost there because, the phases didn't quite work out. But don't feel bad if you lost, because so many of us runners have lost in phase two. I've lost so many times. Bob's lost so many times. Phase two is just difficult, and the only way I could have won there is if I would have dodged. It was just very unfortunate the unicorn died early. So I'll kind of show a couple examples of like how phase two can go, and by that I'll just show other people's videos. So I'll show my Big Bones fight in my PB. Let's see. I'll show like the phase two, because phase one, there's not really much to it. The one thing I can suggest for phase two is have Unicorn shielded before you enter phase two, so that you can guarantee that she'll survive. Okay, so here, this one is at phase two now. So in this situation, so I had it pretty good because, Pumpkin special was already maxed and Pumpkin was alive, so I used the special right away. And then I just attacked. Pumpkin and Unicorn died, which was really bad, but that's okay. I had the shield ready, luckily, on that turn, so then I can just keep attacking and I'll survive whether I get hit or I dodge. Pumpkin comes back alive, and then you can Pumpkin Blast him. And then during that attack, I have noticed one thing. He tends to target Pumpkin a lot for some reason. I don't know why, but, it's random, of course, no matter who he attacks. But if he attacks Pumpkin, that's usually good, because then Knight can just defend himself and just, win through attrition, basically. So, yeah, if Knight's still alive, it's not the end of the world, because you can still survive, depending on your HP range. It also just depends on, like, your situation. So, the one thing I like to do is I try to keep Unicorn and Unicorn and Knight at full HP before phase 2. Pumpkin's HP doesn't matter. So there you can see, I got lucky and I won through just basically, dodging about, not dodging. I didn't get a single dodge. I won because the turn count was just convenient. So now if we watch like Bob's run, just to kind of give you an example of like his setup before phase 2. Okay, so in his setup, this is him before phase 2. What does he have? Okay, he has shielded. Okay, good. He's actually being smart here and shielding Knight before he's shielding Knight before entering phase 2. Because now, that was unlucky damage range. Now he at least has a shield if he decides to do like the attack Unicorn. So the splash damage, I think, is like 50% or so on the phase 2. On phase 1, it's like 30%. But yeah, so he had a lucky position where Unicorn was still alive, and then Pumpkin can just use your special to spam. And he got a lucky dodge there. Nice, Bob. So, yeah. Big Bones is hard. Sometimes your fights can just end up, you have to depend on dodging a bunch. Sometimes you have to, just kind of, you kind of got to make the most of the situation. But if the Unicorn and Knight die and all you're left is Pumpkin, you're basically screwed, is what I'm saying. Normally, a lot of times, Unicorn dying is bad, because Unicorn dying means, you can't heal anymore. But you can still win with Knight's defending, but it depends on, like, when, he defends. Because you gotta wait for Pumpkin to come back alive so he can do the most damage, of course. So, Bob was in a really good situation here where, like, he got a bunch of dodges, and he, had Unicorn alive, so even though, like, his characters kept dying, he had Unicorn, so he could just shield, he could shield Knight, Unicorn whenever he could. Oh my god, another dodge? It's like 5 dodges I think he's gotten now. Oh my god, that was also funny there too, because he actually got the funny thing, because he actually got him to like 1 HP. So the game displays it like on the final hit as 1 HP, but it never goes down to 0 for some reason. But yeah, that was a heck of a fight. Let me see if I can show Death's PB also. He had a pretty funny Big Bones. So again, it's kind of hard to show like a victory for Big Bones because even I don't always win the fights. It's just kind of purely dependent on luck. So he's level 6 here. That it's the same route. Don't worry, it's the same thing. Basically, same strat. Okay. All right, Death. Let's show YouTube how your fight went. All right, so his unicorn died right away, so it's kind of similar to mine. So then he just kept he dodged. Yeah, he was very low HP. If your unicorn dying, you have to just basically bank on either dodging or defending. Oh my god, another dodge. It's hard to really give advice for this fight. Unfortunately, the best thing I can tell you is just hope and pray, but always just try to defend Unicorn before you're entering the phase 2, before he gets below 1199 HP. Because that way you'll kind of maximize your chances of survival, for Unicorn surviving at least. So if you can keep Unicorn alive, that is the best scenario. So here, oh my god, Death, you're just getting so many dodges. Sometimes you can just get lucky with the dodges. I mean, that's just how it is. But sometimes you can just get completely screwed over for no reason. But it is what it is, right? I could probably make a more in-depth Big Bones tutorial at some point, but I hope this kind of illustrates the idea to you. So the timer will end on the final hit here. So once basically you see this fade, once you see this screen here, that's when the timer ends, after like the health bar disappears. And that is run over. Yeah, so that was Costume Quest. That was the Costume Quest 1 tutorial. I know I didn't exactly get to show a successful fight, unfortunate, but yeah, it can take a while, and it can be very difficult to finish runs of this category. If you need any help, we have a Discord server down below for the Costume Quest community if you need help. There is an easier any percent route if you prefer to like finish runs. There is a glitchless run. We have a tutorial for the older route for it. One day I'll probably get around making a tutorial for the new routes. But for now, this is pretty much all you need to know. I hope that helped. Thank you so much for watching, and best of luck with Costume Quest speedrunning, folks.